So in the previous class, we were discussing about encoding circuit for n, k linear block code, where we made use of the linear feedback shift registers or the linear shift register in order to express the given redundant bits is realized by applying the logic on the already available k bits of information. So what we did was we entered all the k bits of information into a k bit shift register, starting from the first uh, bit of your message will be entering first within the circuit, and then therefore it will be available on to the extreme right. Similarly, we go on filling all the k bits of information into the shift register in k clock cycles. Once we have filled in all the information bits, we are going to realize what is known as, we'll make use of the parity bits. Then this parity bits will be used to generate all the redundant bits. So how we are going to connect here? U1 is connected to the pk comma p1 1 comma n minus k, and then u2 will be connected to p2 comma n minus k. Last uk will be connected to pk comma n minus k. The kth this is for the vn, and if I am going to do the same connection over here, I am just showing a very typical example or a very generalized case. P1 2, sorry, this is p21 and this is pk1, and this one would be p1 comma n minus k, p2 comma n minus k, and this one would be pk comma n minus k. After multiplying the respective message bits with the parity bits, these will be added together by making use of modulo 2 adder, and we had obtained all possible forms of the bits of the code word. That is, this will be v1, this will be v2, so on. This one will be vk, v1, v2, vk, where the message bits are retained as is, and this output corresponds to vk plus 1, and finally this will corresponds to vn. And out of these n bits, it will be connected to the channel by making use of a commutator. So what is that commutator? You are going to switch from v1 to vn based on the which bit is entering into the channel. So this commutator arrangement will help us in transmitting one bit each from the code word vector. So this is what is the encoding circuit that we had discussed in our previous class. Now we will move further so as to know how does the error detection and correction process is going to happen. So what is that? We have now currently generated a code word vector which is sent to the channel. So this is the code word vector that we are transmitting. Out of this code word vector, when we receive the same on the receiver section, it will be affected by the noise that is present in the channel. So in the presence of noise, how will we be able to detect the error that has occurred? That is what is the next topic. So here now today's topic of discussion will be the syndrome and error correction process. The syndrome is nothing but it is the process of obtaining the or ensuring the error detection, and this in way also it is going to give us error detection. Means we will get to know whether the code word is in error. We will check whether the code word is in error or not. It will answer this question, and it will also give us the position of error. The position of error. That means within a code word vector where the error has occurred, that can also be visualized. Okay, so syndrome will help us in these two questions, and we will see what is the error correction method. So whenever I have a code word vector called V consisting of n bit code word V1, V2, so on up to Vn, and I have a message vector, assume U1, U2, so on up to UK bits. Am I audible? Guys, am I audible? Chaitra, am I audible? Hello? Hello? Guys? Hello? One of you please respond. Am I audible?
Ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am, no.
Sorry about that. The connection went off in between, I guess. Sorry about that. Yeah, we'll start off. So, during the syndrome calculation, first we will have to know certain things. What is that syndrome? We will know now. Suppose we have a n bit code word which consists of bits v1, v2, so on up to vn for a message bit combination called u1, u2, so on up to uk. Assume that I have received a vector. So received vector on my receiver. Assume that I denote it with r consisting of the n bit. It's an n bit vector again, or an n dimensional vector, because it is obvious whatever that we are transmitting as a code word should be received on the receiver side. The dimension should be the same, because we are not talking about what erasure channel. Assume that we have sustained all the n bits during the transmission. Only thing is, some of the bits within this r1 to rn, they have ended up in a error. So this being the received bits, and some of these bits r1 to rn might have ended up in error and may not exactly match the transmitted code word V. So in that case, we will have to recognize what is known as the error pattern. So we are going to recognize what is the error pattern that has changed the code word vector V into the received vector R. So this error pattern is again a n bit vector. So this is an n bit vector again which is represented as capital letter E, obtained by finding the difference between the received vector with respect to the code word vector. So error pattern is an n-word vector or a n-bit vector which is obtained by finding the difference between this the received vector R and also the code word vector C, or I can also represent it as code word vector V. Okay, so assume that I am representing the code word vector V. Pardon me, just a minute, give me a moment. What is happening here? ಎಲ್ಲ ಇವಾಗಲೇ ಆಗಬೇಕಾ? Just a moment. I'll come back. Just give me a moment. So, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲೇ ಆಗಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ಹಲೋ ಸರ್, ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಕಾಲ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು. ಸರ್, ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂನಿಲೆಟ್ ಶೋರೂಮ್ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವೋಡಾಫೋನ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ರೋಡಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ರೈಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸರ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ರೈಟು ಕಾರ್ನರ್ ಹೌಸು, ಕಲ್ಲಿನ ಮನೆ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಮನೆ. ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಇದು ಮೀಟಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಓಕೆ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ರೈಟು ಕಾರ್ನರ್ ಹೌಸ್, ಕಲ್ಲಿನ ಮನೆ. ರಾಣಿ, ರಾಣಿ, ಅದು ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಇದೆ ಕೊಡಮ್ಮ, ಅದು ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜು. ಸರ್ ಬಂದ್ರಾ? ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಸರ್. ಮಾ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಈಗಲೇ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ, ಅಥವಾ ಸಿಟ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ. Yeah. Am I audible? Sorry about that inconvenience. Somebody had called. It was important.
Yes, ma'am, audible now.
Yeah, okay. So we will start off. The pattern that we are trying to recognize is obtained from the received vector when it is compared with the code vector. But in general case, generally what will happen is, at the receiver, we will not know what is the actual code word that is transmitted. In order to calculate this error pattern, which consists of n bits, that is E1, E2, so on up to En, in order to calculate this error pattern, usually the receiver would not know what is the code word vector. This is unknown. What will be the only known parameter to the receiver is the received vector R. So what we do is, we are going to find out an alternative method to figure out what is this error pattern is. If we know the error pattern, what is the advantage of this error pattern is, let us assume I have a code word vector called V with the bits 110 110. I assume that this is my code word vector. I have received this to be equal to, I have received the vector 101. Let me put it as just like this. Okay, if you add these two, you will get a error pattern 0 1 0 0 0 0. Yes, this is the error pattern. By looking at this error pattern, I can say wherever I am seeing a non-zero element, whenever this error pattern consists of, wherever it consists of 0, that means the received bit is same as the code word bit Vi. If at all the error bit Ei, let us suppose we are addressing it as Ei, if this Ei is not equal to 0, that means this one of the bit in the error pattern, if it is equal to 1, this gives a 1 only when the received bit Ri is not equal to the code word vector Vi. That means by looking at the error pattern, I will be able to recognize if at all if there is one, at least one non-zero element, then I can straight away say that the received vector has ended up in an error, and wherever there is a bit 1, I can say that is the position of the error. That is the position where the error has occurred. Therefore, I can easily point the received vector at that particular position and change 0 to 1 and then correct the error. So, the error detection process, if we are recognizing this bit has ended up in an error while decoding, what I do, I'll convert this 0 to 1. I'll change this 0 to 1 because I know this is where the error has occurred. Thereby, both your received vector and the code word vector will match. So this is how the error correction process will happen in the block codes. Since the error pattern is helping us in identifying the error has occurred or not, and also in the locating the error, this plays a very significant role. But while obtaining this error pattern, the receiver will not know how exactly it needs to calculate this error pattern, because the only known parameter is the received vector. Known vector is only r. We would not know the transmitted vector v, because if we had known that, there is no need of this r at all. There is no way, if the receiver actually knew what was v, then there is no point in obtaining the receiver, obtaining at the receiver, because it is an ideal, what we can say, that's a reference signal. That reference vector would not be known by the receiver. So we can know the error pattern by calculating another parameter, which is an indirect representation of the error pattern. What is that indirect method of evaluating this error vector is to calculate the parameter known as the syndrome. We also call it as error syndrome, because this will help us in identifying the error pattern. Therefore, this is called as error syndrome. This is denoted as capital letter S. This is obtained by comparing the received vector R and multiplying this with the parity check matrix that we have used, that we have obtained from the parity matrix. So we know that the code vector V is actually generated by the parity matrix or the generator matrix, where the generator matrix has the parity matrix as one of its components. And we have also defined another matrix called as H, which is known as parity check matrix. This parity check matrix consists of two parts again, formed by parity matrix, the transpose of the parity matrix, as well as an identity matrix called I suffix n minus k. So using this parity check matrix consisting of the elements of the parity matrix, when I compare the received vector with H transpose, I am going to obtain what is known as a syndrome. This syndrome is going to help us in identifying the or obtaining the error pattern, recognizing the error pattern. So let us see what is the significance of this syndrome. This syndrome is basically an n minus k bit vector. This consists of n minus k bits within it. How is that is, this R is an n bit code word, will be the size of n. H transpose, as we know, I have already written over here, the H vector will be of the size, this P will be of the size n minus k cross k, and I, we know that I of n minus k would be of the size n minus k cross n minus k. So the total size of this H matrix would be n minus k cross n. So this one would be of the size n cross n minus k. So you can see over here, when I multiply these two matrices, this dimension will vanish. The resultant would be 1 cross of n minus k. So this will be the size of the syndrome vector. This n minus k vector S is called as an error syndrome of the received vector R. So this syndrome is evaluated uniquely for every received vector R. For every received vector R. Therefore, this is very specific to the received vector, received vector called as R. So, whatever with the evaluations that we will be doing, the syndrome is evaluated to with respect to the received vector R, and also as well as the transpose of the parity check matrix called as H. So what we do, and we already know that error pattern R is equal to R plus C. So we can manipulate this, or R plus V. We can manipulate this and write the received vector as the code word vector plus the error vector. R is equal to V plus E. Since we know this, R can be represented as the code word vector, actual code word vector plus the error pattern. The syndrome here, I will express this as V plus E. In place of R, I am just replacing it with V plus E into H transpose. The syndrome can be written as V into transpose of parity check matrix plus E into transpose of parity check matrix. We have already deduced an identity equation, or some very important expression yesterday, that we have arrived at a conclusion that any code word vector V multiplied with the transpose of the parity check matrix will end up in a 0. If this is a valid code word, which when multiplied with the parity transpose of the parity check matrix will always yield to 0. So this one would go to 0. Therefore, the syndrome is nothing but it is an alternative method of obtaining this error vector, which is where the syndrome is equal to E into H transpose. So if I need to obtain an error pattern, I can make this manipulation. To directly obtain the error pattern itself, just multiply the parameter, the parity check matrix H on both the sides. So this will be S multiplied by H is equal to E into H transpose into H. So this H into H transpose is nothing but an identity matrix. Identity matrix is obtained by multiplying H transpose into H. Therefore, E can be just written as S into H. So E is 1 cross n size. S is, just now I told, it is of the size 1 cross of n minus k. H is of the dimension n minus k cross n. So when you multiply, you are going to get an error pattern of the size n bits. So this is how we are going to obtain the error pattern from the syndrome and the parity check matrix. If we know these two, we can calculate. The syndrome is obtained by multiplying the received vector with respect to the transpose of the parity check matrix. So this is how the error detection and error location and then error correction. The three process will be, first is error detection. Then we will locate the error location, then error correction will happen. So out of this three process, the first two things are very important, and this is obtained by the syndrome that we evaluate for every received vector, and error correction can be done manually. So this is the process that we follow during the error correction. Then there is also a restriction of how many such error can we correct. So if I have a received vector where the two bits are varying, assume that I have taken a previous example, no, that is 110 110. Assume that in this transmitted vector 110 110, assume that two bits have ended up in an error, that is 101 110. So the second bit and third bit are in error. So error pattern that we will be obtaining is 0 1 1 0 0 0. But such an error we can only get to know if there is an error pattern like this. We will be able to say that the received vector has ended up in an error, but we cannot go and correct both the bits. I mean, the error correcting capability of a linear block code will always be restricted, and that depends on another important parameter where we call it as the Hamming distance and the minimum error correcting capability of a linear block code, that we will see little bit later. But this error pattern is a very important thing which is indirectly evaluated by this syndrome. Therefore, syndrome plays a very significant role in doing error detection and error location process. Then error correction, single bit error correction can be easily performed manually. So this is the process of syndrome evaluation. Shall we take one example and then finish with that? We shall solve one problem. Please take down this problem. Consider a 6,3 linear block code having parity matrix P given by 101 011 110. Consider a linear block code 6,3 linear block code having the parity matrix P. A code word generated using the parity matrix P, a code word generated using P is transmitted over a noisy channel and is obtained as and is received as or obtained or received as vector R 110010. Detect and correct the single error that has occurred due to the noise. Since they have said it is 1 bit error, we can correct it. If it was more than 1, we will not be able to correct it. We will see that why later. So first and the foremost thing, we have known the parity matrix. We have to first deduce the parity check matrix, that is H. Because to detect the error, first of all we need to calculate the syndrome. What is the syndrome? They have given us the R vector the only parameter that we have to identify is the parity check matrix, which is H. So H is obtained by appending the transpose of the parity matrix along with I identity matrix suffix I of suffix n minus k. So therefore I can write this as P transpose appended with the identity matrix of dimension 3, because n is 6, k is 3, so this would be I3. So I'll take the transpose of this provided matrix. It is 1 0 1 0 1 1 1 1 0. The matrix will remain the same even after transposing, and I3 would be 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. So this is what is the parity check matrix that I will obtain, and I need H transpose to evaluate the syndrome. I'll take the transpose of it. It is 1 0 1 0 1 1 1 1 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. So this is the transpose of the parity check matrix. So how to obtain the syndrome? The syndrome will be a vector of the size n minus k. That means it will consist of 3 bits in this particular case, obtained by multiplying the received vector r with the transpose of the parity check matrix. So we will find out yes. So r vector that is given to us is, let us rewrite this r vector. It is 1 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 0 1 0. The parity check, the transpose of the parity check matrix, it is 1 0 1 1 0 1 0 1 1 1 1 0 sorry 1 1 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. So this is what is the transpose of the parity check matrix. You can calculate the syndrome here. Calculate the syndrome. How to do? Please remember, while you are calculating the syndrome, please remember one thing, that you should do modulo 2 multiplication and modulo 2 addition as well. So 1 into 1 is 1, 1 into 0 is 0, 0 into 1 is 0, 0 into 1 is 0, 1 into 0 is 0, 0 into 0 is 0. So this is 1. And the second column, 1 into 0 0, 1 into 1 is 1, 0 into 0, 0 into 1 is 0, 0 into 0 is 0, 1 into 1 is 1, 0 into 0 is 0, 1 plus 1 is 0. So please remember this. You need to do the modulo 2 operation of all the arithmetics that is happening over here. Modulo 2 addition, modulo 2 multiplication. You have to keep this in mind. Similarly, last column you can check. 1 into 1 is 1, 1 into 1 is 1, 0, 0, 0 and then 0, 1 plus 1 is 0. So the syndrome, the n minus k vector, syndrome vector is obtained to be as 1 0 0. Now in this the obtained syndrome, check for this what syndrome that I have obtained in the H transpose. This the syndrome that we are going to obtain will be a part of your parity check matrix. This one would be present as one of the rows within this parity check matrix. So please try and locate 1 0 0. It is present in which row of your transpose of H in this matrix. Where is it located? Please let me know in which row it is present. So you can check over here. This is the first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, sixth row. The resultant of this syndrome that we have obtained will be pointing to the fourth row in the parity, in the transpose of the parity check matrix H. Therefore, we can say that the fourth bit in the received vector is in error. So this will tell us the fourth bit in the received vector is in error. Therefore, the received vector, which is 1 1 0 0 1 0, this is the received vector. We can recognize the error pattern as in fourth position means the first three positions will be 0, the fourth position will have the error, that means that in that position I have to write a 1, and fifth and sixth will be 0 0. So to obtain the actual code word, we just have to add the received vector with its error pattern. So do this process. The fourth bit is 0, but now it will get converted into 1. So the actual code word that was transmitted is 1101010. Sorry. Yeah, fourth bit is 0. I have written more. Yeah. 110110. This is what is your transmitted vector. Fine. If you have any doubt so far, you can ask. We will do more problems based on this, but please make sure that the concept is clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask and get it clarified. Any doubts? Guys, any doubts? Okay. If you have no doubts, we can end this class over here. In the next class, we will see what is the circuit that is used for generating this syndrome. So syndrome generation circuit, we will see it tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will need one more class, though it is a holiday tomorrow. I will take one class, or else I'll record the video and I'll provide it to you. All the videos of the classes are have been updated in the YouTube. I'll share the links with you people. Today's and tomorrow's I'll re-record this particular video because there was a glitch in between, so I don't want it to be disconnected video somewhere. I mean, it should not be a patchy video. I will just redo this process of syndrome again. I'll re-record it and then I'm going to share it with you people, as well as the syndrome circuit realization. I will try to record it and then I will share the YouTube link with you people. And this process is important because we will be doing the decoding process of the linear block code in the coming lab. So please make sure that you are thorough with this procedure. If you have any doubts, you can ask. I will send few more problems based on the things. Based on this, you can do that. Okay, and submit it as an assignment. I will send assignments in this week. It will be mostly the problem based assignments. That means right from the Markov source onwards, I am going to send at least five problems in each concept. Please make sure that you are solving. It is going to help you for the examination. Okay, so do that and you can solve that and submit it. I'll give you the deadline, so you can submit it before that. That's it for today. So we will meet, if possible, we will meet tomorrow, or else I'll record the video and give it to you. We will definitely meet on Saturday at 11 o'clock. Okay. If you have no doubts, you can exit.